guy's shop. Wheels are waiting to get some fresh new shoes on them, some tires, you know. And well, here are our tires that we're getting today. Just wanted to go over these things. See this little circle right here? This is usually what you use to mark up with your valve stem so you can get better balance. These are directional, so it says right. So this will be the outer wall on the right side of the car, which is known to be the passenger side. And here is how our tread's gonna look, all nice and neat, looking pretty good. I know they're not really period correct, but they're still gonna do really good. We went with the 235 60 R15. So here are our tires. Excited to get these put on here. Fresh tires on these rims. Pretty excited to put these on the Monte Carlo. It kind of gives you that extra motivation when we're here. All right, could not have done this without the tire guys. Thank you guys so much. They do more than just tires. Good tires, wheels, alignments, auto detail, window tinting. Ken, again, thank you so much. If you guys ever need something here in the Sacramento area or not, you guys want to make out a drive, your tire guys are your tire experts. So thanks again for all your help. Way down deep in there, you can kind of see my extension of my socket is the thermostat. Right, it's going from the radiator to the block. Well, I am going to replace the hose with a new one and we'll replace the thermostat, but I gotta take the whole housing off and I'm gonna do some inspection. So, got it off. Here is the housing. You can see the two sensors inside. Now, you're probably asking why there's two. Now, if I understand this correctly, I didn't really check the manual to confirm this, but this is your ECT, your engine coolant temp sensor. So this actually is measuring your temp for your gauge. This right here, see there's two vacuum lines, also are measuring from, if I remember correctly, back in the day, temperature also, because we were always trying to be more efficient back in the day with operating temperature. And once you got to operating temperature, these vacuum lines would pull whatever diaphragm they have to pull from. And then on the exhaust manifold somewhere over there, what it does is it restricts flow so that the engine can warm up quicker and get to operating temperature and be more efficient. So it's not pushing out hydrocarbons. Is we want to push out the Here's my housing again, right before I give it the old clean-upper. So, but before we start this, always remember safety first, right? And then we can start grinding away. Kind of see a little example of that. We're cleaning all that debris and buildup from years and years of just sitting there. So, all right, I'll clean this up. You don't have to watch all the way, be bored, and we'll go from there. So before I left the engine and I took the thermostat out, I put the duct tape here to cover up the hole so that nothing falls in that I don't want to be in there into the coolant passages. I'll come back here. You can look at our thermostat housing. I cleaned up the inlet tube right there, as well as the housing where it fits down onto the intake manifold. So we'll scoot over here. This is the old thermostat and gasket. A little rundown, huh? Here's the new gasket, and let's open this up. As you can see, it's nice and new. So if you're wondering what the difference is between these two gaskets, it's almost nothing. You're never really gonna know what's different other than this one is used and this one is not used because, well, this one's clean. Also, this thermostat, I got a lower temp thermostat. So this wax pellet inside, there's a wax pellet in here, will open and close based on the temperature. So this will open and close at a temperature I can't recall off the top of my head, at a lower temp than this one. So helping with keeping this engine cooler, because these 80s engines, they were just notorious for overheating. So what a thermostat does is if an engine first starts up, it will stay closed so that the coolant can recirculate through the engine over and over again without going to the radiator to cool down, because what we're trying to do is get the engine to that most efficient temperature where everything's firing off at all cylinders. And once we get there, then this wax pellet will open or close however it's designed to allow coolant to come through the radiator hose into the radiator, so that air can pass through it, it can cool down, go all the way back into the engine, and then just recirculate until the engine is either too cold, and then it'll close again and open again, and then it'll do this vicious cycle over and over again while the engine is on. So in case you're ever wondering, that's how a thermostat works and how it helps the cooling system. Drop that thermostat in here right now. Boom, there you go. And then the next thing is the gasket. Gasket goes on top, just like that. Line it up. And the next thing is gonna be the housing. So I'm gonna put a little lube on here so that it seals good, that there's no ripping and tearing as I tighten everything down. Suspension parts are going in. Got the steering stuff going on. Got my inner outer tie rods going across, getting bolted up to the power steering pump and everything. So this hub assembly on here, right? I need to use this jack to raise this lower control arm so that I can put this on correctly, because the spring and the shock have dropped down a little further than it's supposed to now that this part isn't here holding it together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of get this close like this. And what I'm gonna have is I just need to go maybe an inch or two so that it catches the threads of this, and then I can use my my air tool over there to slam this on and get it to where it needs to go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean these off. Try to get as much of this old grease in here. I'm just using some brake clean. Here you can already see it's a little cleaner. So come in here so you can see it. So it's spinning okay from what I can see, and nothing too bad, no score marks or nothing like that. So I'm just gonna clean them off really good, the inner and outer bearings. So this is the inner right here, the small one, and the one I just showed you is the outer. Then this is the goes right in front of this on that shaft over there, and that's what the front rotor and hub assembly spin on. Oh yeah, here are the brake pads. They gotta go in here, right? These are your pads right here. This is the backing plate. This kind of here is where the piston touches, if that's the right side for the outside. But anyways, what I want to talk about is anytime I put aftermarket, because these are aftermarket, they're Duralast pads on, I use this brake disc quiet thing, and I swear by it. I freaking swear by it. It works, man. All right, so I'm trying to do this so you can see, so excuse my camera angles. All right, so there it goes, bearing into the bearing packer. Try to get it centered as I possibly can. This goes right here, and I use my cup right here to push in, right? And I just push down. Okay, so if you look into here now, you can start to see the old grease coming out as I push down. So we're gonna try a little more. I want it to where all clean grease is coming out. Good. There we go. There we go. Okay. So this is gonna go inside of that right there. But what I'm gonna do is, before I do that, take some clean grease and put it in there. Lube that thing up a little more, as much as possible. So I don't want this bearing to touch any type of metal. I want as least metal to metal contact as humanly possible. You know what I mean? Almost forgot. See this dust seal? It's gonna go on the back over here. I'm gonna hammer it on. I'll be good to go. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that time lapse if you saw, I was kind of fighting with this, and it was just because of there was an insert here that was kind of protruding and it was hitting. So got that squared away. Got my brake dust crawl under here, and I'll share what I got done today because I'm not really sure what's gonna make the final cut or not. I do want to share some things. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot more under here that wasn't here before. Okay, I got my new tie rods are in, my sway bar end links are in, my sway bar is in, and it's painted black. I put the whole hub assembly on, that steering knuckle all at the end there, as you can see. Painted that black too, cleaned it off, so it's looking a little bit sexier, you know what I mean? So got all of that there. Looks really good, right? I think so. See, we're coming along shortly. I mean, coming along, yeah. So I did put the tires on. I just kind of mocked them up because I wanted to just kind of see how the car looked with it. I think it looks pretty awesome. One thing I did do was the front brakes on here. I'm sure this made the cut. And anytime you're doing front brakes, right, you want to turn these. Listen for any type of excessive scraping. And look, I got some good motion on it, which means all the bearings are spinning nice, they're greased very well, and there's nothing binding or scratching. I do have a little, which is fine because that is the disc brake. Back there's the drum, we already took care of that one. So let's jump up to the car here. All right, looking real nice. All good. I wanted to show you guys the trunk because that's where we were storing a lot of stuff. Not much left here. My fan shrouds and the torque converter cover. I have to, there's a fiasco there. I gotta figure that out later, but don't worry about it. I gotta flip something over. It's gonna be a big job. Anyways, I do want to potentially paint in here black like I did the drum brake itself, so that'll look good. But I think this car is gonna look real good with these 235s that I was able to get. Thank you. These tires look really aggressive. Maybe not period correct, but man, they sure do look good. Thanks for hooking me up, the tire guys there in Sacramento. I appreciate you. Can't wait to get this thing smogged and aligned and, you know, registered and all that good stuff so I can hit the open road.